Okay, I'm here tonight to talk about the book, at least my point of view on the book, The Body Keeps the Score. It's by Dr. Van der Kolk, and it was published in 2015, um, the first published. And the book is divided into about five chapters, and it talks about rediscovering your trauma, and it talks about the brain, the anatomy of the brain, the hormones that's going through the brains, and how your body's reacting to it, and all the way to the path to recovery. Of course, I have not finished the book. I'm just on chapter 5, but as I go through parts of the book, I want to get on here and review as I go through. So um, the book has about 349 pages, plus or minus five. If you take a look at the preview or the prelogue, and then some things in the back of the book, um, if you want to, say like the index or whatever, other things that you can read. Um, so my perception right now about the book is that it's really a good book, but it's a lot of reading, it's a lot of detail, it's a lot of medical, a lot of psychiatry, anatomy and physiology, read on the book. But um, I have to let you know, as I read the book and come online to talk about trauma, I'm talking about it from my perspective, and I have had trauma, so I'm going to be approaching this from my point of view, which is I have a traumatized brain. So I'm not a doctor or a psychiatrist in that sense that I can help anybody. Let me put it like that. But I'm going to journey as I read through the book what I think that they're saying, because it's not an easy read for people, but it's very helpful if you have had trauma and you're stuck in trauma. And then, like, you don't know why you're stuck in trauma. So there's a lot of golden nuggets that I think people need to know. But like, if you picked up this book and you're like not really desperate to like find out why you can't get from point A to point Z, um, you really wouldn't read it, because it's just like mind boggling to get through it, um, to search some of these things out. So um, I spent 7 years in the United States Navy, and I was honorably discharged in 1998. So from there is a little bit of my story. So you'll get more of the story as I go through the book. So it's going to come into pieces. But basically, as he talks in this book, that if you've had trauma, and you see things from a perspective of trauma, and so it's not necessarily what quote unquote you want to call normal, if there's any such thing as normal, but there is such thing as a traumatized brain. So my perspective is going to be kind of not like, I guess you would say, the average person, because it will have the mindset of post-traumatic stress syndrome, and plus maybe a little bit more. Because basically I'm working right now with the brain and the mindset that I'm really not home. I'm not in my um, body, because I'm just dealing with the trauma. But I'm pretty much learning more and more each day. So I think that's all I have to say about the book today. And I'm going to go over some more things that I've been reading. But one thing I do have to say is that if you have had trauma, you have to get to the point where you have to admit, okay, I have had trauma, and the way that I look at things may not be the same as a person who maybe have gotten over their trauma of looking at things, or a person who has not had any, you know, trauma yet in their life. Um, so it's really important to know that you may be thinking differently than other people. So that's really important, and to know, and that is okay. But you know, Dr. Um, Vander Kolk is offering a solution so that you can be better. And so that's why I'm reading the book, so that I can be better. So that ends my talk for today, and my sharing for today. And the reason I think I want to tell everybody why I'm doing this particular process is because I um, want to document um, my trauma. I want to document the process. Um, I've been fighting with the VA about this particular trauma for like over 20 years and have gotten nowhere. So I don't want to leave this earth without uh, it being documented. I don't think I can write a book right now. Um, so I think vlogging would be my best bet to put like everything down. So as I go through the book, The Body Keeps the Score, I'm going to go through the process of, like what happened at the VA and maybe some things that happened in the Navy, and put it out there and look for some comments, and also look for if anybody got any questions for me that I can answer. I mean, I can do that too. I'm really not looking for um, anybody to validate my story, or looking for anybody to, really do anything for me. I'm kind of past that point. I'm just at the point where I just want to have it documented, because a lot of people, leave this earth and don't have their story documented, and then people try to piece it together afterwards, and I don't want to do that. Um, I just want to leave things like in my own words, what um, happened, and how I felt about it, and like my process of going through it. So that's all I got for tonight. And of course, I have like bad memory loss, so I left the book outside, so I don't have to show it to you. But I did buy the workbook, and this is the workbook that I'm going to do with the book itself. Um, it's about 10:43 p.m. I'm not going outside to get the book. I'm gonna wait till tomorrow to get in the morning to get the book. But I'm done with, I think, the first section of the 5, so I can do work on the workbook. And that first section talks a lot about veterans and the Vietnam War, I believe it is. But anyway, so you got any questions, or tune in for the next time that I get a chance to talk about trauma, my trauma, and the book. And I don't know when I'm going to come back on, because sometimes talking about this stuff gets to be a little bit too much, and then you have to kind of like go in the cocoon, sorry, cocoon, and like regroup, and then come back out and do a little bit more. Okay, all right. I'll talk to everybody next time. I say your prayers. Be with God. May His face shine upon you, and blessings and grace be with you. Thank you.